Jim, you had taken a look at an article that Steve Bellovin had posted related to encryption. Can you make a couple of comments about that?
Right. This was a post that he did end of last week, I think, or maybe over the weekend. And it was entitled "The Uses and Abuses of Cryptography." And one of the biggest point that he makes here is, one of the people always like to say, well, encrypt the data, then it'll be secure. But that's not entirely true, because if you've got databases that are always in use, then the decryption key has got to be someplace. It's got to be, in RAM in the OS or in the database management system itself, because you're having to decrypt it to do your work. So one of the points that he makes in bold here is encryption is most useful when OS protections cannot work. Encryption is not the magic bullet that is going to solve all the problems. You need other OS protections. You need application level protections. Encryption works great on things like disks of laptops, because once you've shut it down, then any information that's on there is secure. But while the system is operating, if you can get malware on there, the full disk encryption doesn't do you any good. So it's his main point here is encryption is a useful tool. It's not the magic bullet. You can't say encryption is going to solve all your problems. Encryption has its place as one of the tools in your tool belt. Right.
Yeah, encryption's I guess kind of analogous to running around with a hammer. If you're trying to drive screws, it's not going to work quite right. And it's a situation where, as you were saying, even if the database is encrypted, if you don't have good access management around that, then the database is either you only have two choices. Either the database is inaccessible at all, or the wrong people are going to potentially have access to it. So you really have to have the right tools and the right circumstances in order to provide good security. Security takes thought. And there are certainly templates of applications that can be built around the notion of including security, access control mechanisms, locking down the platforms, and even physical security around that. But ultimately, it takes thought around what type of application it is and putting a good design in place.
Right. If it were easy, we'd be out of a job.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. But
and we'd be able to take more applications, maybe.
Right. Well, there's still mistakes in the implementations as well. That's, I guess, the other aspect that needs to be considered. Hence the need for patches on a regular basis, and the fact that 0 days get discovered.